Hi guys! So I kind of just want to start out by saying I've been sort of procrastinating doing this video as I procrastinate everything. But yeah, so I was just kind of like, no, Izzy, you're doing this video, get up, go do your makeup, and you're doing this. So I literally just did my makeup in like 2 songs. I measure things in songs, but like it's like 8 minutes or something. So yeah, sorry if I ain't looking fresh, but whatever. It's just like light BB cream, eyeliner, lips. But yeah, I'm glad I'm comfortable enough to be able to do that now. Yay! Okay, so this is basically gonna be sort of like a rant video, and it's been brought to my attention by the whole sort of uproar about the the issue of using the word she-male and like ladyboy, things like that on RuPaul's Drag Race. Now this video is not really going to be much about the use of the word on the show per se. It's more of the reaction that the LGBT community has had towards trans people for standing up for themselves and saying that that's not cool. And yeah, I wrote a big post on Tumblr which I want to read to you because I don't really want to miss any points, so I'll kind of just read that and, elaborate on things. And yeah, so that's this video. Okay, so here's the post. I can't believe that almost every gay man in particular is so hateful to trans people. Like, you should be ashamed. Us trans people stood behind you to fight for all the privileges that you enjoy today. And you don't want to have the basic respect of not referring to us using these words that objectify us. Words that are used in such hateful ways. For many trans women in particular, she-male has been the last word they've heard before being murdered. I'm like so disgusted in the LGBT community for the way they've acted towards this whole thing. It's not even about a word anymore. It's about the reaction that yous have had about trans women standing up and saying it's not right to be referring to us in these ways. And so many of you are actually defending transphobia. Like, take a joke, you're being oversensitive, shut up about it. Like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. Most cisgendered heterosexual people I speak to, if they use an offensive term, you just tell them, it's offensive, I'd appreciate it if you don't use that word. And 9 times out of 10, they will respect that. They don't have to understand why. In most cases, they won't understand why because it doesn't affect them. But they would still respect your wishes and hopefully eventually understand the importance. Now, anyone would think that it would be the same, if not better, for the LGBT to respect us, but it would appear not. It turns into a game of who's more oppressed, becomes a discussion of them telling us to shut up and deal with it. Sorry, but I would stand up for you and respect your wishes if someone was calling you a faggot pansy. Like, honestly, the sooner the T is separated from LGB, the better. Gender doesn't belong with the sexualities, and I certainly do not want to be lumped into a community that doesn't understand us or doesn't even have the basic respect for us to not use offensive words. It's just disgusting. Now, I want to point out that this isn't directed to everyone in the community. Obviously, there are some people with common sense. But in my experience and from everything I've read, the majority of gay men seem to think that for some reason that they even have the right to debate it. It baffles me. I can't. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, and there's still a lot of things I want to talk about, but yeah, I can't fit everything into a video, but I am going to mention a couple things. Now, one thing is going to be, okay, I've literally been debating this, like this thing, counteracting people's posts and everything and talking sense into people for like literally 4 days straight. So I know a lot of the things that people are going to try and counteract this with. And one of the main things is going to be, oh, just don't let the word affect you. You can control if that word has effect over you. And while I somewhat agree with that statement, I could I could just as easily just feel like,
I'm just not gonna let that word affect me. I'm gonna feel completely fine and happy.
But here's the thing. Trans women didn't come up with the term she-male. They didn't come up with the term tranny. They didn't come up with the term ladyboy. These terms are derogatory terms made by the adult industry to objectify us. Like, well, they're words that, show us in a light that the majority of trans people do not want to be associated with whatsoever. Like the vast majority. There's not many people that want to be viewed in that manner. Now, I can't tell you how many people come to me thinking I'm some sort of freaking, I don't even know, sexual object. They think I must be doing porn or something simply because I am trans. Like, I'm a normal freaking 16-year-old girl. I'm not. It just, these things, they affect us in all different ways, and it's just not cool, okay? But back onto topic. Yeah, so if I was to not let that word affect me, that'd be all well and good, But it's not going to change that word is still used to oppress us, to rape us, to murder us, to objectify us. It's not going to change any of that. Because again, we didn't come up with the term. Whether we ignore it or not, it's still going to be used by people in hateful ways. We can't control being oppressed. We can't control the words that oppress us. Because they just do. If all we had to do was just not let the word affect us, not let it have any weight over us, then we wouldn't be oppressed. If it was as simple as just not letting it affect us, we wouldn't be oppressed. But we don't have the control over that. Other people that use it do. And the only way that we can counteract this is, by doing things like this, talking about it, educating people, letting people know that these words aren't things that define us as trans people. These are not good words to use. And, oh, God, it just annoys me so much. There's so many people are just defending using this word. We have gay people fighting for the right to use transphobic slurs. Now, do I really want to be in a community full of people fighting to use slurs against me? No. Now, another point that a lot of people sort of try to bring up, drag queens in particular, is that they have been sort of, had these words used against them. Now, basically saying that when they think of these words, they think of drag queens. Now, you go search ladyboy in Google Images, you go search she-male, you go search tranny, and you fucking tell me if you see drag queens. Tell me if you see drag queens. Getting a little passionate here. Also, when you've had these words used against you, do you live that every day of your life? Because as a drag queen, you can go home, you can take off your wig, you can wipe off your makeup, and you can be a cisgendered male without any of those problems. Now, trans women, we have to live our lives facing it every day. That, it's not, oh my gosh, Now, another thing that I've heard people saying is RuPaul is trying to, or sort of like, drag queens in particular, is trying to take back the word she-male. Okay, so first of all, she-male is not referring to drag queens. So how can drag queens take back the word? Like, that's literally like saying a bunch of white people are going to take back the N-word. It's just not going to happen.
Like, hello?
Also, you have to be able to take back a word, you need to be respected. You need to have. Yeah, that makes sense. You need to have the majority of people to respect you, to know about you, know what you face, and know what you're about, Now, you can't take back a word without having that respect because it's still being so widely used to oppress us. You just can't take that word back yet. Especially now that it's become so very evident that even a majority of people in our community is still not respecting us. They still don't know what we have to fight for. Like, you just can't take the word back yet. And when we have such a high percentage of the LGB, still being so ignorant towards us and still not willing to respect us, then it seems to not be in the near future. So there's plenty more that I could say, but I'm gonna have to end that rant there because otherwise I'm gonna have like a movie, and yeah, that's just not cute. Yeah, so I hope this shed some light for some of you. I hope it's, educated some people, and some people need some educating. And yeah. Oh my god, okay, one more thing. I was watching a live show the other day, which I might actually link in the description because it'll probably give you some more viewpoints. Though it goes for like almost 3 hours or something, so if you ever have a lot of spare time on your hands, that could be pretty informative, give you some other viewpoints. But yeah, one of the things that was mentioned on there, which really sort of highlights this issue of these things being used in television shows like this, is, okay, so this person was on a train and they see sort of like this person that is obviously a trans woman, and this gay guy walks onto the train and sort of like looks at her and goes, "Yes, tranny, work it." And it's like, and she like ran out of that train like mortified because, he just outed her, calling her a tranny. Like, that's pretty much like if I were to walk onto like a train or like, a crowded place and I see someone who is obviously a homosexual, you wouldn't walk up to them and be like, "Yeah, work it, faggot." It's just, it's so rude, and those words just should not be used whatsoever. You shouldn't give people, you shouldn't be able to give people the right to be able to use those words like that because it affects people. It's just, no. Okay, so with all that said, I'm actually going now, so love and hugs. Mwah.
Just overwhelmed with emotions. I'm just so happy that so much of my community, so much of the LGBT comes to the trans rallies to fight for our rights, such as being able to use the correct bathroom and, being able to change our gender markers to match who we are. I'm so grateful that so many of the LGBT come to these rallies and know all the things that we're fighting for, and I just couldn't wish for a better community. Sarcasm.